Welcome back. Like you know, and like I said at the start of the show, it's Father's Day, and it's one of those days that comes and goes without any form of fanfare. Some fathers don't even remember, not to talk of those around them. I was watching something earlier today, and a pastor had asked the choir to sing a song for fathers in church, and they couldn't come up with anyone because there's almost no songs for fathers. There's always Sweet Mother and all of that. So let's take some time now and celebrate fathers. I'm joined now by Emmanuel Ola virtually. Emmanuel, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Very well. Thanks for joining us. How are you celebrating today?
Today is a great day. We are still celebrating it. As you can see, we are fathers and fathers we are still celebrating.
And I don't know, people, why is it always such a, I don't know what the word is, a drag on Father's Day? It's almost like even fathers don't seem to care that much about it. So, I mean, how important is it for a day like this?
Father's Day is very, very important. It's a time to honor the father, just like we do for our mothers. That Mother's Day is very, very important. The same thing, Father's Day is very, very important. It's a time to honor them, to value them, and to appreciate them for the great things they are doing in the life of their family and their friends.
So what do you think is different on a day like this? Because like we all know, most fathers don't necessarily, get emotional. We're taught a certain way to carry ourselves and be on a daily basis. But what does Father's Day, as a father, what are some of the things you should reminisce on and think about, as you celebrate?
Yeah, thank you so much. As a father, it's a time to think about the value that you are putting in the life of your children. It's a time to think about what you are doing to your family, to your wife, to your children, and to the community at large. It's a time to think about the value you are putting in the community, the changes that we are bringing into the community. It's not only a time for funfair. Of course, it's good to have nice time, but it's not only to eat and drink, but also to think, to ruminate, and to think about what is the value that we are bringing to the society and how are we impacting the society positively. So it's a lot as a father, because as a father, traditionally you are believed to be the head of the home and invariably the head of the society. So what are we bringing? What are we bringing to the society? How are we impacting the society positively? How are we going to live the society the same way we met it, or we are going to make impact, making sure that there's an improvement, there is new things, life has changed, the life of the children and the coming one has totally been transformed. Thank you.
I ask that because, fathers typically get the short end of the stick with parenting. There's always this belief that all fathers do is go out and get money and, to get the family going, which is a great thing, should never be diminished. But when it comes to parenting, it looks like the mothers seem to be the ones who do all the work. Is that still the right way to view things in 2025? Are fathers still, that stereotypical man who's not, enough of a parent as much as mothers are?
Yeah, thank you for that question. That has always been the challenges that is everything about the child is the mother, but things are changing. It's not just only to be a provider alone, but also to, as a father, there are a lot of things that you need to do now. Number one, as a father, you need to give a spiritual guidance to your children. You need to guide them and to lead them. You also need to provide emotional support for them. So it's not only to leave it for the mothers alone. Things are changing. The kind of the traditional ideology that we have about father in the past century, in the past year, in the past decade should be totally different from what we have now. And any father that wants to make impact in the life of the children in the society must know that things has changed. You need to provide emotional support. Beyond that, you need to be a role model. You need to also you need to be like a mentor to your children. And you need to be present in their life, to be involved in their life, not just leaving it to the mother alone. The mother alone cannot do it. every father that knows that in this century, in this 2025, you must also provide mentorship. You must be present. You must be involved in their life, and not just to leave it for the mothers alone. So things are changing. The society is changing, and fathers too. Those ones that are really following the trend, they know that they need to move from the traditional way and move to the present ways of raising the child.
But I guess the question is, how do you find that balance? It's a question you always find that mothers are asked. If you find a woman who's doing well in her career and is a mother, the question is always, oh, how do you balance motherhood and raising a child? You hardly ever hear that being asked to fathers. But if you want to have fathers now who can do both, because what most men will tell you is at the hustle, and if you're hustling, the family sometimes suffers as a result. Men are out, whatever kind of work you're doing, you spend a lot of your time, whether in traffic or in the office or in the farm or your workshop or whatever. So parenting suffers. How do you find that balance for fathers who wants to do that? At a time where, especially in a country now where work is not an option or a choice, you have to hustle. People have 2-3 jobs sometimes, or you have a job and you have 2 other side hustles for business. Is it realistic to expect fathers or parents even, to be able to balance, that work life or work and parenting life?
Well, thank you. I want to categorically say that we must, fathers, we must balance this situation. We must balance it. See, I had one nasty experience sometimes ago, not for me, but for a family friend. And they just came, the children came from overseas, and I was with them. That family friend, we were together, and one of them said that, Dad, you were not there for us when we were in Nigeria. And I knew that their dad was really going through a lot of things to put these children in school abroad over there. And they challenged the dad that when we were growing up, you were not there. So after we departed from that little get together that we had with them, I came back to myself and I asked myself the same question. I hope my children will not ask me this question later in life. So I decided to create time. I made up my mind that I must create time. I must be involved. No matter how tight the schedule might be, I must do something. So I make up my mind. And that's why I want to encourage, appeal to all fathers in the house. Please be there for them. Be involved in their life. Try as much as possible to balance it. How can you balance it? Set boundary. Have a timetable for your children. Set boundary for them. Be involved in their school's activities. Now, by the special grace of God, I find myself doing it. And in my daughter's school, they made me the chairman of the PTA. And I told them in the last meeting we had that before, you won't see me in such meeting. I'm always here, over there. But now I make up my mind, but based on that experience, that I must be involved. So I told all the other parents that, please, anytime we call for PTA, you must be there as a father. Things must change. If not, I pray that none of us will have a regret at the end of the day. So you must create time. You must be involved in their life. You must balance it up. Anyhow you want to do it, you must make sure you work it out. You set up a time, you have a boundary, and you have timetable to be involved in their life and in their school, especially in their school activities. Try as much as possible to always be there. Just arrange yourself, set up the timing, and know your calendar, and put them as a priority. Let them be a priority in your calendar, and surely, you balance it up.
Thank you very much for joining us, and happy Father's Day to you, and of course everyone who's out there celebrating, and I hope they are celebrating and your families are celebrating them. Thanks a lot, Emmanuel Ola, for joining us. We're going to go on a break now.